Is your twin flame not like your usual type? Do they seem opposite to you on the surface? Do you question how is this ever going to work? Well, the differences are there for a reason. Your twin flame is your mirror soul, so on a deep core soul level, you are the exact same, and the person you are evolving into is the same as well. So it's just surface level appearances that seem different, and they're there for a reason. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. This is the thing, you know, when you first meet your twin, there is that instant attraction. Straight away there's an instant attraction. And then when you get to know them, you do feel that comfort with them. You feel that ease with them. It's like you know them because they are you. But on the surface, they look so different. This is the yin and yang effect. You're supposed to fit together perfectly, and your opposites are supposed to make each other or balance each other out. But we can often run from this at the start. But the reason, there are so many challenges on the twin flame connection or the twin flame journey. So there is going to be that they're not your usual type. There's different cultures, different upbringings. But the thing is, when you look, it's funny, when you look back on your life and look back on your twin's life, they look the complete opposite. But when you go and dig deep underneath, the trauma is still the same. You still suffered the same childhood trauma and still suffered the same relationship trauma, even though on the surface it might have looked completely different. And these are things that we need to overcome. But one of the things that I believe is connected to us being different on the surface is to break the codependent relationship patterns. Do you know what I mean? This is what we're here for. We're supposed to enter into interdependent relationships. We're supposed to break, create a new relationship paradigm. And this is us, it's not falling into the same trap as we always did. And when you look back anyway, we always did what our partner wanted. We always fell into the trap of losing ourselves to the other person. But when you're in the twin flame relationship, the objective here is not to lose yourself. But it's to still own what you believe in, or still fight for your own passions in a sense. And we're supposed to have opposites anyway. But I think it's in overcoming this is the biggest challenge. When you think about it, you might have a list of things that you want in a person, and on a core soul level, your twin flame is like that. But on the surface, they're not. Me and my twin definitely played some cosmic joke on each other because, our past anyway is, there's certain aspects of our past that are really opposite. If we met back then, we wouldn't have been ready for each other. We might have recognized each other, but we wouldn't have been ready for each other because we probably would have been, enemies in a sense. It's a weird one. But so this is a challenge we have to overcome when your twin flame isn't your usual type. You know what I mean? She's not the normal person you bring home to mommy kind of energy, and that's what it's like. And it's an overcoming. This is the superficiality as well. And I've seen this in many dating shows as well. It's Married at First Sight. He's not my usual type. Your usual type is toxic. Do you know what I mean? People give out that this person isn't the normal type. You were dating from an unhealed, wounded place. So you attracted somebody who was narcissistic, controlling, psycho. And on the surface, your exes might have looked like they were a match to you, but they weren't. They were a match to the persona you put on to protect you from your wounds. So, for example, my exes were drinkers and druggies and smokers and narcissists. But, they were all the same. But the only things we had in common was drinking and drugs. I'm trying to think. There is nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. So, my exes might have looked like they had similar traits or similar things to me, but in actual fact, it was based on a wounded persona, a wounded energy. So now my twin flame might look the opposite on paper, but the person I am now matches him completely, which effectively is the person I truly am, matches him completely. But sometimes for the less awakened twin, this spiritual person, is completely different to what their friends or family would approve of. Because I remember even mentioning twin flames to my friends years ago. I'm no longer friends with these people, but like, do you know, it was like, I'm crazy. There's no such thing. You're away with the fairies. These people, they just didn't agree with it. And anyone in your close environment is going to tell you you're crazy. They're going to tell you that person is nothing like you. That person has no interest like you. And effectively we do. It's all surface level. It's all surface level. So ask yourself the questions. Like, this is the thing, like, when it's really hard to explain. All this stuff is in my head and it's really hard to explain. What I'm trying to say here is like, so as we evolve and grow, we're evolving and growing into the person we're always meant to be. Your twin flame is going to look opposite to you so that you can actually expand and grow into what you're supposed to be. So for example, I'm at the level now where I'm authentic, I'm real, I'm not surrounded by energy or environments that are taking me backwards. I'm not getting the wrong advice from people. But your twin who's less awakened is still in that matrix system. So they're still surrounded by superficiality, judgmental people, conditioned reality. So when they see that you're the opposite on paper, they're like, how am I going to no one's going to accept her. She's crazy. I'm not crazy. But like, effectively it's that conditioning is like, that person wouldn't fit into my environment. But are you actually in the right environment? That's another question to ask yourself. Do you need to evolve out of that environment? Is it actually that your twin flame is your actual type, is your perfect match, but you haven't yet evolved into your highest potential? So there's a few different aspects to why your twin flame is different on paper, but they're the same on the core soul level. It's overcoming the obstacles. It's overcoming the ego-based system. It's overcoming what you thought you once were. That's effectively it. Because when you truly think about it, your twin flame is you. And is who you're supposed to be effectively. But, it's also important to maintain your own sovereignty as well, your own independence, and trust that. But the main objective in overcoming this surface level thing is trusting in what you feel rather than what other people may think. And I think that's the biggest one when we do anything on the spiritual journey, is when we're surrounded by people from our old environment, or if we're still in that environment, what we're thinking about isn't what we feel. What we're thinking about is what other people will think. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges we have, is to not care what other people think. And this purge that I've been going through the last few weeks has made me realize that. Do you know what I mean? It made me realize, it made me question, and I think this is what my twin flame was feeling as well, is question, how the fuck will this work? Our lives are so different. How is this going to work? But our lives are supposed to be different. The way I see it is the puzzle piece fits together, right? I can't do a puzzle piece. But what, you know what I mean? There's the jotty out bits and then there's the straight bits, right? I don't know how I'm going to explain this. But you do fit together perfectly. So that the jotty out bits, right, or the part that fits together, that's the part that's whole. That's the part that's in common. But you need to have the straight edges, or your own side of things anyway, to remain in your power, to remain in your sovereignty, and to remain in your independence. So it really comes back to trusting yourself, not worrying about what society will say. Jesus, it's not. You're not marrying. You're not marrying for society. You're not marrying for your mother. You're not marrying for your dad. You're marrying for you. You're choosing a life partner. Well, you're not even choosing. You don't get to choose who you love. This is. It's not like you go, I'm going to fall in love with that person. No. It doesn't work like that. Your twin flame, you don't choose this, but your ego mind, your conditioned mind, your old self mind is going to try to pull you away from your divine relationship because of all these opposites that you keep finding. But they're not really opposites, and it doesn't matter. Like, they do say opposites attract anyway, and this is the yin yang effect. We need to have balance. You cannot be the exact same. being the same means codependency. It really does. Like, you know, you need healthy interdependency within relationships. So that do you really want to be hanging out with your partner all day, every fucking day, doing all the things, like the simple thing of, oh, this bugs me, it reminds me of my own relationships. It's like, what do you want for dinner today? I don't know. Did you ever choose your own fucking dinner? Because they'd ask and then they'd end up choosing. Do you know what I mean? And so you ended up doing everything they wanted because you were too quiet to actually say anything. But this is it. We conformed into old relationships. Whereas with this opposite kind of attraction thing, we're getting to, it's all about your choice. Like, not your choice. It's you listening to your truth. That's what it is. Instead of listening to what your mother is going to say, what your dad is going to say, what your friends are going to say, what society is going to fucking say. Who gives a fucking shit? This is about breaking the norms, breaking out of that cultural conditioning, breaking out of the matrix and doing what's right for you. What do you want? Oh, the Notebook scene comes coming back up. What the fuck do you want? What do you want? You know what I mean? What do you want? This is, I think, any kind of challenge we go through on the twin flame journey is showing us how to trust in ourselves and in our soul. So when we see that we're opposite on paper, this is one of the biggest challenges. It's like, how is this ever going to work? Will this ever work? But it does work because magic is fucking real. And once you set the intention or allow or surrender to the flow, it is going to work. And I think there's so much beauty in the opposite things, the yin yang. You know, it's nice to have your own interests. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to have your own mind, and that's effectively what it is. And it's nice to have the challenge of getting to know somebody for who they are, rather than wanting them to fit into a certain criteria or a certain box, like, do you know? And I just think, I think it's a beautiful challenge that we have to overcome, because it stops us being judgmental or superficial. And that's the thing. And it goes back to that Married at First Sight again. So superficial. It's like, oh, he's not tall enough. Oh, he's not thin enough. It's like, what the fuck? Like, do you know, this is complete superficiality. It's like, they don't look like my type of paper. Who are they on a Corso level? Why were you fucking matched in the first place? The same with your twin flame connection. You're the one soul separated. So like, why were you were always the same? And on the surface, you're different. And remember this anyway. Your past relationships were toxic. Your type was fucking toxic. Do you know what I mean? So why are we so against somebody that's not our type, when we should actually be embracing that? And as I've already said, once you shed the environment you were in, shed the persona, the mask that you were wearing, you'll come to see that your twin flame is actually the perfect match. The perfect match. And that's what I feel with my twin. I still laugh at some of the things that I suppose were opposite for us, especially in the past. And it's just like, this would not have worked a few years ago. It really wouldn't have, like, and I just think that's hilarious. And it's just like, now I'm like, you know, I think it's about it's about your self-worth as well, because a lot of the times your twin flame he's a higher level, or they're a higher level than what your exes were. So a part of you is like, you're breaking the feeling. Like when I was with obviously low vibrational assholes, I was in a low vibrational state. I was unhealed, so I believed that was all I deserved. So when you meet your twin, they're also, not only are they different, they're also here on this pedestal, and you're like, oh my God, this person is amazing. How am I ever going to live up to that? But the more you evolve and grow and more you heal yourself, you're going to realize that you're both equal, no matter what it looks like. You know, that person, you're on the pedestal with that person, and that's where you deserve to be. That's where you belong. So instead of letting yourself doubt or fear or worry that it might not work out, or how is it going to work out, or it doesn't look right on paper, what are my friends going to think, what are my mother going to think, what's my father going to think, all this kind of shit, like, forget about it, because you and your twin flame are actually the perfect match. That you really are. You are the perfect match on a soul level. The person you were always meant to be, without the mask, is the true match for your twin flame. So, it's about overcoming the challenges or the obstacles between you and your twin. And it's in only listening to your own true self instead of what society has told you to think, so that you can actually come into divine union and inner union. It's overcoming the obstacles, it's overcoming the opposites, and realizing that no matter what it looks like on the surface, it's what you feel in your soul that truly matters. So it is about what you want and not what society wants. So remember that everything you think is bullshit, because what you think is based on your past environments. It's all about what you feel. If you feel that connection, if you feel that bond, it does not matter what the surface looks like, because on a deep level, you are the same. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today, and I'd nothing more than to help on your path. Also, I'm hosting a Feminine Empowerment Workshop next Wednesday, the 15th at 6 p.m. Ireland UK time, for women to come together, heal, share, and grow, and evolve, and empower each other. So if you want information about that, please comment below. Also, I have another channel called Aligning with Angie, where I'll be sharing a guided meditation every week. If you want information for that, it's in the description box.